The Rockies' long road trip to the West Coast continuing. Los Angeles, the destination for three. The first time the Rockies and the Dodgers are meeting in the 2018 season. Hard to believe we've gotten through this many games, and now in game 48, seeing them for the very first time. Walker Buehler will be on the mound for the Los Angeles Dodgers to get things started. And of course, Charlie Blackmon will lead things off for the Rockies as well. Let's get to our Southwest Airlines batting order, and we'll start with Charlie Blackmon, of course, hitting second tonight for the Rockies. David Dahl, he's getting a start in right field. Nolan Arenado's hitting third. Hara will be cleaning up. Trevor Story hitting .250. He's coming off a hot road trip in San Francisco. Ian Desmond will be at first. Tony Walters doing the catching, and Pat Valleca will be starting at second base today with Marquez on the mound. Well, for Walker Buehler, just his 6th career start for the Dodgers, and the rookie has quite an arsenal, Spilly.
This is unbelievable stuff if you're thinking about just straight power slider combination. When you're looking at the curveball, people have compared him to Justin Verlander. They've mentioned the same mechanics of a guy like Tim Lincecum. That's high praise for somebody that was a star at Vanderbilt. He is not afraid to challenge hitters. We already saw it in against the San Diego Padres in Mexico. Electric stuff. He was part of a combined no-hitter. The Rockies have to be able to jump on him early.
And for Charlie Blackmon, and facing him, Walker Buehler owns him, right? It was his first career strikeout. And it happened against Charlie last year. The first pitch underway, and Charlie will watch it for a ball. You know, Charlie actually mentioned to me today that for a guy that has high velocity stuff, he sure likes to pretend he has a big arsenal, but really we know it's just getting it after and attacking that fastball.
Well, I think when you're facing a pitcher like Walker Buehler, and you understand that pitch count is an issue for him because the Dodgers are protecting this arm. This is a golden arm. If you're patient, if you allow him to pitch in the strike zone, velocity doesn't matter.
Charlie fouls off the 2-0, 2-1.
Very similar to how the Giants had an approach against John Gray the other day, was quiet. Take what you give you. There's opposite field hits in baseball now due to all the shifts. If you're willing to let the ball travel and put it in play, you'll get hits.
Well, Charlie's going to be patient in this first at bat. It sounded like he wants to make sure that he's going to see as much of everything as Buehler's going to have for the day. Here's the 3-1. Charlie swinging at that and fouls it off.
And I like that approach. 3-1 pitch, down and in. Charlie's hunting fastball just kind of shows you the electric fastball that Buehler has, that a hitter like Charlie looking for fastball is late on him.
The full count, Charlie's swinging, and he'll hit right in to Chase Utley playing second base today. Well, tonight's defense is brought to you by First Bank. You see Utley getting that start there at second. Around the infield, it's Turner, Taylor, and Max Muncy a start at first base. In the outfield, it's Peterson, Bellinger, and Kemp. Bellinger's been playing a lot of center field for the Dodgers. Dave Roberts likes the matchups against righties to get Muncy's bat in there as well. So David Dahl steps in with one out. 13 for 36 in his career against LA, a .361 hitter. That has to give you some confidence when you see Dodger blue.
There's certain ball fields when you come to the stadium, Dodger Stadium being one of them. Bright lights, loud speaker system in center field. I never felt comfortable with the batter's eye, but some people see it extremely well. David Dahl's got to be one of those guys.
He's going to watch that pitch for a strike.
That's the batter's eye. Now, we've seen baseball with some stadiums now. There's covered in grass. They're nice and bright and green. Not the case here in Dodger Stadium.
Was it distracting for you?
Seen a batter's eye like that?
That batter's eye. There's so much going on.
Well, this one specifically makes the pitchers look a lot smaller. It was harder to pick up the baseball. For whatever reason, there was an optical illusion with the batter's eye.
A 1-2 to David Dahl, and that ball travels foul. You and I had to do a post-game show one time out in center field. That speaker is so loud.
Call it the wall of sound.
I feel like they've toned it down over the
No,
last
are
couple
you
years.
kidding me?
I felt like during batting practice today, it was the decibels were just a few. No? Ball swings at that, right to the shortstop, and Chris Taylor makes the play. 2 outs. Well, Nolan at Dodger Stadium last year started to feel the most comfortable he's felt for a place that he likes to call his home. Grew up a huge Dodger fan, and he finally settled in here, Spilly.
I think last year when we saw Nolan, and just as similar as David Dahl, he loves playing here. He loves playing in front of friends and family. He loves the competition of how good the Dodgers are. We've heard him talk about it. He does better when teams are better. He loves to live for the moment. He loves the competition of it.
He's going to watch the first pitch for a strike. Here's the numbers for Nolan. He never really felt that comfortable at Dodger Stadium to begin his career. He did have his first career home run here, but then you look back to 2016, just 189 is what he hit in 10 games here. Last year, 412, 4 home runs, and 10 RBI. And talking to Nolan about it today, he said, yeah, I think I let nerves get the best of me. I was in front of friends and family. You want to play bigger. And finally, last year, I just really had that confidence coming in here. And I think to your point, Spilly, this Dodgers team was a lot better last year. We see him play like that when he goes to San Francisco in front of a big crowd.
I don't think the Dodgers are going to give many pitches to Nolan, given the fact that the rest of the lineup has not really hit their stride. So they are going to pitch Nolan very carefully this 3 games.
There's a ground ball on the shift. Nolan's going to create the 3rd out. So 3 quick ground ball outs for the Rockies. 1, 2, 3 for Walker Buehler ahead of the bottom of the 1st. Work against the Dodgers. First time the Rocks and the Dodgers are seeing each other this year. The 10th start for German Marquez with great road numbers.
The numbers are great, especially when you're considering the fact that the first inning for German has been so difficult. 25 earned runs allowed in the first inning. Excuse me, 13 runs allowed in the first inning of his 25 earned runs. The fastball command is imperative for him to have success today. We've seen him start to use the changeup more. It used to be 1%. It's actually growing to 6%. That's a big, significant change because it is allowing him to have an extra pitch if he can't command off speed.
Jock Peterson leading off today for the Dodgers. First pitch in there for a ball, so the 1-0. Peterson fouls it off. It's the 5th game for Peterson hitting leadoff this year. Ball's hit high into shallow left field. Nolan's tracking it, and Nolan with an out.
It is very difficult to see the baseball here at times. for Nolan, I don't think Gerardo picked it up off the bat as well. Gerardo's playing a very shifted left field. I mean, that's the difficulty that Nolan is able to make plays look easy is incredible. Like, that's not an easy play.
Max Muncy, the batter. First pitch, a ball. Muncy's been hitting the ball well, so Dave Roberts been trying to find opportunities for him to get in the starting lineup, hitting .333 over his last 10 games with a couple of home runs.
Well, the Dodgers have been looking for offense wherever they can find it, Jenny. I think when you see guys like Cody Bellinger and his numbers aren't quite to where they were last year, obviously it's really difficult to repeat what he did. Justin Turner being gone, Seager's gone. Chris Taylor's another player that has struggled to find what he had last year. If you're hitting, you're going to play.
Again, with Turner coming back, you know, it gives him some opportunities to shift and play some first base, with Cody Bellinger being so versatile and able to play the outfield. I think we talk about versatility a lot with the Rockies lineup. Well, Dave Roberts has that with the Dodgers as well. That ball's out to left field, and Parra tracking it right under it for out number 2. Let's take a look at the Southwest Airlines lineup for the Dodgers. After Muncy, Justin Turner hits third. Yasmani Grandal cleans up. Cody Bellinger hitting .250 this year. Matt Kemp .321. Chris Taylor, Chase Utley rounding things out for 1 through 8 with Buehler, the pitcher, hitting in the 9 hole.
Well, this is my key matchup for Herman is getting Justin Turner out, and why it's so important is to be able to establish fastball in.
And he actually goes away for ball 1. Turner, this is his 2018 Dodger Stadium debut. You could hear a little buzz over the crowd of, we're finally seeing the red beard back. Herman falling behind quickly, 2-0.
For a player like Justin Turner, he had spring training. So he's able to get the timing during spring training, had a great spring training, but then to get hurt at the end of it, come right back in basically 7 weeks after the season started and act as if he's never left. It's just a testament to how good his swing and mechanics are.
Ball's off the 2-1. 2-2 to Justin Turner coming up for Marcus. This is a big at-bat for Herman, no doubt about it. His first inning woes have been well documented. And Marcus is going to get him to ground into an out. Valleca over to first. Big first inning for Herman Marcus. Toyota Tundra in your hometown Toyota stores. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Well, 63 degrees in Los Angeles. Feels a little bit warmer than it did in San Francisco. The wind is gone, but still a bit cooler than we're used to here at Dodger Stadium. Gerardo Parra will lead things off in the top of the second. Parra had a great road trip in San Francisco. He hit .455. We're starting to see some signs that bat's coming alive.
Well, I think more importantly for Gerardo, he's starting to separate himself from Carlos Gonzalez. I think when you're looking at why, especially from the manager's position, is the Rockies need to win. And the at-bats that Gerardo's taking, he's forcing Bud to put him in there. And Cargo's at-bats, they've been inconsistent. And so he's not getting the opportunities to play. And the same goes for David Dahl. David Dahl has been taking quality at-bats, even though some of the results have not been there for David Dahl. Visually, you're seeing a higher level of quality at-bats more consistently, and that's why you're seeing Gerardo Parra hitting fourth tonight.
Parra falls behind 0-2. He's gonna watch strike 3 go by for Buehler's first strikeout of the night.
For the Win is brought to you by Pizza Ranch. So it's pretty obvious who's right. Walker Buehler has a .197 batting average against right-handed batters this season. It's one of the best in baseball. He's not given up a homer to right-handers, and the Rockies are struggling against right-handed pitching. .219 batting average, one of the worst in Major League Baseball.
Well, here's some good news with Trevor Story coming to the plate. His last 12 games, 16 for 46, hitting .348. He watches the first pitch for a strike.
And this is the aspect, Jenny, too. There's silver linings to everything. As bad as the Rockies have been against right-handed pitching, .219 is 29th in baseball. They're 15-12 against righties. I do think part of those numbers reflect how good the Rockies' starting pitching has been. Just how important some timely hitting has been for the Rockies as well.
Two and one to Story. We're watching the Rockies being a little more patient in their at-bats so far against Buehler. Isn't a good approach with guys you don't see very often?
I like being aggressive against guys with velocity if it's in your strike zone. Doesn't mean overswinging. You don't like power on power to overswing, but I do like an aggressive natured approach against high velocity pitchers.
And Story's gonna ground one to Turner, and Turner takes out number 2. Well, fans, we want you to join in on the conversation tonight. Send us your thoughts, your comments, and your photos on Twitter using the hashtag ToyotaTalk. Ian Desmond will try and get something going here for the Rocks. They need a base runner. Desi starting to feel better in San Francisco at a 4 RBI night. Reached base 3 times on Saturday. Gets behind 0-1.
Well, that's not fair in the Subaru strike zone. First 2 pitches. 1 for a strike. The second one looked well off the plate. And quickly, as Desmond's just trying to find solid ground with his swing and his approach, to be at 0-2 quickly. Thanks a lot.
Makes contact there, fouling one off. that 1-2. That looked to be in the danger zone, Spilly.
Down and away where it could go against you?
Based on the first 2 pitches, right? Same spot for Buehler and same result, 2-2.
And I like it. Desi ended up working to a full count. It means he's seen the baseball a little bit better, especially to your point, Jenny, taking a curveball in that outer edge where it was called a strike earlier. Desmond on the season is hitting .089 with 2 strikes.
He's going to swing at that, and it's going to be a grounder to third. Turner making a tough throw, and Desi tries to beat the throw but won't. We'll talk over this one, see about challenging Redmond on the phone.
Contractors Association of LA County, thanking and paying tribute to the men and women of our nation's armed forces by honoring the military hero of the game.
Subaru Supermo looked like the ball just beat Ian Desmond. And the Rockies are taking it.
And that was the Rockies' answer as well, so we will move on to the bottom of the second. Scoreless here at Dodger Stadium. German Marquez will see the middle of the Dodgers order. Grandal, Bellinger, and Kemp in the bottom of the second. He got out of the first inning without giving up a run, and that was a huge feat for German. A 13 ERA coming into this game in the first inning. We've seen him get behind and then settle in on the road, but to start out that way, you know he feels great about the rest of the day.
For some pitchers, it just takes getting settled down in that first inning because they're not comfortable with the mound, they're not comfortable with the site, they're maybe overamped with adrenaline. There's that changeup for German. We're seeing him sprinkling it in, and it's just for a hitter, Jenny, when you have to consider now 3 pitches. Before it was just German, a fastball, and a curveball.
That ball is deep into left field, and Parra's gonna jump to make the catch. Parra kind of slowed down tracking that one and had to make a leap at the end.
Off the bat, it sounded like it was well struck by Yasmani Grandal, who's, compared to where he was last year, Grandal is off to a great start. Gerardo tracking, not quite sure exactly where the warning track is on the Subaru Supermo. Anticipating maybe running into the wall. And plenty of space.
So 1 out with Cody Bellinger coming up. Bellinger's been scuffling, just 6 for 44 in his last 11.
And you'll see that with young players, especially with how he was exposed in the playoffs. Fastballs up and in like the one you just saw. Up and in, trying to tie him up. Off-speed pitches down and away. Off-speed pitches and fastball counts. The sophomore slump is a legitimate thing because the league has a book on it.
Right back at Herman, and Herman making out number 2 to Desmond. Let's check in with a third member of our broadcast team tonight, Taylor McGregor.
Hey Jenny, yeah, you and Spilly talking about those first inning blues usually for Herman Marquez, but he's not alone when it comes to struggling in the first inning. We crunched some numbers as to when the DH was brought into Major League Baseball, and take a look, the first inning, the highest number of runs scored through Major League Baseball. And guys are starting to adjust. The Tampa Bay Rays throwing Sergio Romo as a quote-unquote opener. He's a guy who comes in, throws 1 to 2 innings before the actual starter would get into the game. So we asked Buddy Black, hey, is this something that the Rockies would ever consider? And here's what he had to say. Actually, we don't have what he said, but what he did say was that they think of all sorts of different things, and yes, that is something that they would consider. Have they actually talked about that? No, but he said across Major League Baseball, I'm sure we'll see more of it, guys.
Yeah, I think it was really interesting what the Rays did is Matt Kemp has a 2-1 count. I mean, yeah, you're going to have to rename the position, right, if you're going to go that direction. When you start to get into the financials of things, I guess you're going to have a closer at the back end that makes the big bucks for striking out and closing out a game. You're going to have the opener who makes the big bucks for striking out.
No, I doubt it's going to turn into that, because I think when you're looking at the team that was doing it, the Tampa Bay Rays, this is a low salary team that is trying to think outside the box.
Marquez goes inside for a ball, so full count at Kemp.
But it is interesting what Taylor's bringing up. First inning and getting those runs off the board, because I constantly point at how important the first runs are.
Matt Kemp to right field and on the chase. That's going to be a ground rule double.
If you ask the Dodgers at the start of this offseason, when they made the trade to get Matt Kemp from the Atlanta Braves to shed some salary, and if you were to ask him who's going to be your best hitter through the first couple weeks of the season, the last person that they would say is Matt Kemp. And he has been fantastic. Showed up to spring training healthy, hitting the ball opposite field, got a pitch he could handle and drove it.
So the first base runner of the game and Matt Kemp on second. Dodgers have a runner in scoring position and Chris Taylor coming up. Swing at the first pitch. Dodgers are aggressive on the first pitch. They have a .363 batting average, which is the best in the National League.
There's no reason not to be aggressive first pitch. Typically, league average on the first pitch is well over .350. And in this day and age where you don't want to get to 2 strikes, why not fire away at the first pitch?
The 0-1 low for a ball. So Herman bringing that curveball back out. Taylor swings at the 1-1, grounder to Desmond, and Desmond's going to make it for the easy out. The Dodgers strand a runner on second. We're scoreless. We'll go on at third. that the Rockies and Dodgers are just facing each other for the first time this season. Game 48. Rockies need to get going here in the third. To do that, Tony Walters is going to lead things off. Rockies 12-7 when Walters starts at catcher this year. Buehler's given a heavy dose of fastballs, Billy, so I think this team knows what they're going to get, and Walters is going to swing at the second pitch for the first out to left field. Well, fans, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Live más at Taco Bell.
Well, there's no reason if you're Walker Buehler not to lay off the fastball. Fastball hitters are hitting 222 against it. And we already pointed out, right-handed batters are hitting 197 against his fastball. The Rockies haven't been able to hit righties too well. So, of course, you're going to trust the fastball.
Throws it generally 60% of the time in his starts. Pat Valleca getting a start today for the Rocks. UCLA product. I'm sure he's watched many a games at Dodger Stadium, right?
Oh, unquestionably. Your first game that you ever watched, Major League game, was here at Dodger Stadium.
My first Major League Baseball game was right here when I was 6 years old. And I've always considered this a very special place because of that, right? We didn't have the Rockies yet in Colorado, so this was the first place I got to see a Major League game. We came with my cousins, and they'd been coming to games forever. They come to like 20 games a year, no foul balls. My brother catches a foul ball.
The first game?
Yeah, that's how it works, right?
Yeah, well, and the other thing that works is whenever you go to a Dodger game, you have to have a Dodger dog, and it's Dollar Dog Night at Dodger Stadium, so Jenny's going to eat
That's right. No.
a Dodger dog every inning.
No, but Spilly is, and I will buy. Valleca fouls that off.
You got $5?
You're only going to make it to 5?
You know, I used to avoid Dodger dogs because my body's a temple, but as I've gotten older, I feel like I can have one, just one. So I will have one tonight.
I haven't had a Dodger dog in years. I let you eat all of
That's
them.
good for you.
The 2-2 to Valleca. He's down on strikes. Second strikeout for Buehler tonight.
Walker using his slider to get Valleca down and away on the Subaru Supermo.
German Marquez, the batter.
For a while, German was one of the better hitters on the Rockies. Batting average well over 400. He's hitting 286 right now.
Dropped it down. 4 hits, though.
Yeah, he went 0 for his last 4.
It's a big swing from German.
A little too big.
He heard you talking about his 0 for 4 skid.
I would guess, since I live 90 miles north of Dodger Stadium, that I've probably seen 50 to 100 games.
Really? That's really cool. Well, Marcus is going to ground out to end the inning, and that means it's time for me to get up and get Spilly
Look at those
another
tasty
Dodger
sandwiches.
Dog. What do you want, 3?
I'm going to go get a Dodger sandwich right now.
Stop it. spent plenty of time together with the Padres. Dave was the bench coach for Buddy, and now, of course, managing against each other within the division. That doesn't mean in the offseason you can't be friends and share an ice-cold beverage and some thumbs up. Bud Black and Dave Roberts were waiting to hear the results of the 2017 National League Manager of the Year. I hate to tell them, neither of them won. That went to Torey Lovello, but at least it stayed within the division. And it's pretty fun that those two can hang out like that on a big day. So
great. Are you kidding me?
Again, Torey Lovello won the 2017 Manager of the Year award, as the Diamondbacks got one of those wild card spots. All three of these teams ending up in the postseason. But the other two, no stranger to the award. Dave Roberts won the award in 2016, and Bud Black won the Manager of the Year award in the National League in 2010 with the Padres. Chase Utley's the batter.
For a period of time when Chase Utley was with the Philadelphia Phillies, this was the premier hitter in baseball. And this was a guy that you were scared to death when he came to the plate.
You talk about being a premier hitter when you have 1,800 plus hits, 1,000 RBIs, 1,000 runs, and you're in the names of Beltre Pujols, Miguel Cabrera, Robinson Cano.
Yep.
I guess that's experience for you, and he deserves those gray hairs on his head, just like you do in your beard.
The Silver Fox. Well, Silver Fox might be getting some more grays. One for his last 16.
Utley's hitting 8th tonight. He has a 3-1 count. Swings at that right to Pat Valleca for out number 1.
Hit that one for 17.
Now batting, number 21, Walker Buehler.
Coors Field is a great place for group outings. Groups of 20 or more receive discounted pricing, scoreboard recognition, and more. Call today for more information.
Walker Buehler, the batter, Lexington, Kentucky product.
Buehler, after high school, chose Vanderbilt as the college that he attended. It was part of a national championship Vanderbilt team. In fact, I really do, when I start looking at different college programs, what they have done in Vanderbilt has been nothing short of remarkable. Thinking of David Price and the list of names. And what makes that program unique is that a lot of the players go back and they train there. In fact, Vanderbilt has built a special major league locker room for their players.
Buehler gonna watch that one go by. So Marcus recording his first strikeout of the game.
Number 31, Josh Peterson.
It's so important, especially if you're within your college program. If you're a kid and you're going to Vanderbilt, or if you're a player and you go to UCLA and some of those players come back, you see a major league player come back and work, and it just helps that program out so much. And Vanderbilt's program's been one of the best in the nation for the last couple of years.
Jock Peterson steps in. You know, Spilly, I think about what even, you and your teammates have done at UC Santa Barbara when they were in the regional a couple years ago. You made sure to hop on a flight and get there. That's important to you guys as alumni to represent your university as well, especially in the big leagues. You can tell the rivalries still exist within the conferences once you guys make it to the show.
There's no question. I mean, that's the beauty of our sport. And when you have players, because it's a mix. It's Latin players, it's Japanese players, it's different people from different countries and states, and take pride from where you've come from, because it's not easy to get to the big leagues. And the path that guys have taken to get here and acknowledge the people that have helped you get there, I think is extremely important. That's why being part of a college program that gets to a College World Series was great. And we needed a lot of Gatorade after that College World Series experience to recover from the amount of support we gave UC Santa Barbara.
Yeah, all that alumni support.
We're retired, so you're allowed to support him hard for a weekend.
2-2 to Peterson. A swing on that. A towering pop-up, and Nolan's charging into foul territory. And he has it. So that'll be out number 3. Quick one for Marcus. We move on to the 4th. That it is, Connor. Thank you so much. But now the Rockies got to take advantage, and they got to get going. Hitless through 3 with Charlie Blackmon coming up, and a .333 average against the Dodgers in his last 18 games.
Charlie's going through a bit of a grind the last couple of weeks. It's been difficult for him to really string together multi-hits. We're so accustomed to seeing him have a hit a game. It has not been that easy for him.
The 0-2. Charlie's going to watch it for strike 3.
And it happens. There's a period of time where a hitter might be feeling something at the plate, not picking up the baseball quite as well. And the Subaru Supermo, Yasmani Grandal stealing a strike off the plate.
David Dahl, the batter, and swings at the first pitch, a grounder to shortstop, and an easy out number 2.
This is what we were talking about earlier, Jenny, when you start looking at this Rockies lineup, trying to get offense from different characters in the lineup. You cannot just depend on a Charlie Blackmon and a Nolan Arenado. And this is why it's important for guys like David Dahl to take quality at bats, for Gerardo to have quality bats tonight, for Trevor to continue the quality bats. Why it's so important for Ian Desmond to get back with solid footing.
Especially with those guys at the top of the order, and Nolan Arenado coming up dry in the RBI front lately without any runners on. Nolan takes a ball. Nolan's had 1 extra base hit in his last 7 games.
It's because that's how they're pitching him. They're not giving him pitches to drive. And So that's your fear, that type of swing. 1-0, maybe a little bit over-aggressive, a little overzealous with a hanging curveball to try to drive the ball out of the ball field.
But despite Nolan's had a great road trip, hitting .423, mentioned those RBI numbers down, and Nolan's gonna send that one out to left field. It's gonna hook foul. That's a hard angle to track.
It is a hard angle to
really
track.
was like, wow, that's on the line. And no, that is not at all.
Yes, Vani Grandal and Nolan were both standing there watching it, admiring the flight and trajectory of the ball together. One person cheering for it, the other person asking for it to hook foul. Yasmani won the cheering contest.
1-2, and he gets Nolan swinging on strikes. Strikeout number 4 for Buehler. Rockies, slow start offensively in LA. Do you think the return of Kershaw and Turner will change the Dodgers' fortunes? We want you to go to AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to cast your vote, and we'll show you the results during our post-game show. That ball is sent deep into right field, and that is how the Dodgers will score. Solo home run for Max Muncy.
Well, Muncy getting opportunity because Dave Roberts is looking for offense. Muncy has been swinging a great bat lately, driving the ball. That's his 5th home run of the season. We highlighted earlier, the Dodgers very aggressive first pitch. In fact, they're one of the best hitting teams in baseball on the first pitch, and that's center cut on the Subaru Supermo.
Turner takes a big pack. His first swing. So the 6th home run allowed by Marcus this year, and start to look now at a trend. The last 4 starts, he's allowed 1.
7 RBIs in the last 6 games for Max Muncy. And Jenny, you said this earlier. If it wasn't for Cody Bellinger being able to play multiple positions, Dave Roberts would be forced to put Muncy on the bench.
Turner with a grounder to Nolan, and Nolan's going to get that across the diamond for the first out. You know, we mentioned the Dodgers injuries and having Turner come back. Still, it's gotten better for them, but still not great on the pitching front. Clayton Kershaw on the 10-day DL. He's going to throw a bullpen on Wednesday, a sim game on Saturday, and he might be ready to go as early as next week. Corey Seager, they've lost for the season out due to Tommy John surgery. Hyunjin Ryu was still on the DL, Dave Roberts said today. They'll see him at some point this season. And of course, Rich Hill placed on the 10-day DL yesterday with blisters. He thought he could go the other night in the second game of a doubleheader, got 2 pitches in and taxed their bullpen. That ball sent out to right field and under it, Dahl at the warning track.
Number 35, Cody Bellinger.
And that brings up Cody Bellinger, we mentioned playing center field today against the righty and his versatility. He became the first qualified hitter since 2010 to start multiple games at center field and first base. It's not a versatile two position that you see very often in this game.
Not too often. I can think of a player from a couple years ago, Jeremy Reed, made it to the big leagues with the Seattle Mariners. Center fielder and a first baseman, but it's rare. I mean, it is a strange skill set to have. Bellinger a year ago, this was a guy that was about to get sent down right about this time frame, Jenny, and what ended up happening was Adrian Gonzalez told Dave Roberts he wasn't right. Bellinger was allowed to stay on the big league team a little bit longer and found his stroke. Ended up hitting a home run every 12 and a half at bats. This year it's about 25.
That's how you earn Rookie of the Year honors in the National League. And the Rockies will get out of it, but not unscathed. The home run from Max Muncy gives the Dodgers a 1-0 lead.
Presented by Jack in the Box.
We got to talk about a guy named Tommy John. 1974, he was playing for the Dodgers, and that season he had a surgery to repair his UC ligament, and thus the surgery Tommy John was born. Now, it has evolved a lot since then, but one of the ways is the amount of guys getting the surgery. The first decade of the surgery, there were only 13 cases in pro ball, and now just so far in 2018, there have been 33 cases. One of the guys who has had Tommy John is the guy on the mound for the Dodgers, Walker Buehler, and he's a good example of how guys can come back better than they were before the surgery. He found out he was going to have the surgery just 2 weeks after being drafted, and after he recovered, he actually throws about 7 miles per hour faster than he did before. Jenny?
Yeah, it's amazing what that surgery's done and how far it's come since its beginning. And for Buehler, I mean, one of those strange instances where you think, okay, I'm drafted, my career can begin.
That's
right.
Oh,
but it's going to begin on the operating table.
And I've talked to guys that have gone through surgeries like this right after they joined pro ball. It's very difficult for some because you feel lost.
It takes a lot of hard work to get back from something like that. And you're right, when you don't have a place in an organization yet, you almost feel like you're 10 steps behind before You've even been able to throw a pitch in that team's uniform.
You don't even get to meet your teammates. You meet the trainers.
Yeah.
You don't get to leave extended spring training. You're a wallflower to start off your career.
Parra down 1 and 2. He's going to foul that one off. Taylor, you got a little bit more?
Yeah, you guys are mentioning how it can be scary for these guys right when they're drafted. I was talking to Buddy Black about Tommy John, and he says one reason he thinks that surgeries have been so successful is because guys work so hard to get back. He said it's kind of one of those moments you look at your career and thinking, oh my gosh, it could be over. I'm going to work really hard to get back. And he believes that's why they've been so successful. Jenny?
Yeah, I think it's a great point. And I mean, for pitchers, we've seen that success rate not only once over, but twice over. Think about a Tyler Chatwood who's had to go through it.
Well, the Tommy John surgery doesn't automatically mean you're going to throw harder. And that's a common...
warning to parents out there, because that was a trend recently, right? High school kids trying to go in and get some Tommy John to put a few more miles on their fastball.
If you want to help your arm, do the same routine that somebody going through Tommy John treatment to come back, the rehab, do that. It's all about the arm strengthening. And then the other aspect too is a lot of these pitchers look at, why did I have Tommy John? What was I doing mechanically that forced me to have this issue? And many pitchers realize that they can take some load off of the elbow. They can be better with their direction towards home plate.
Ball's in the dirt. 2 and 2 for Parra. We've seen it in position players too. Corey Sullivan had Tommy John.
Well,
of course, he was a pitcher.
He was a pitcher
previously leading up to that, but Corey Seager, we've seen it in him.
Seager had it, yep. Corey blames Wake Forest. He's not here. I'm kidding, Wake Forest,
but if a check goes in the mail, he's fine with it. Parra sends this out to center field, and she gone at Dodger Stadium.
Opposite field, Gerardo Parra. Walker Buehler comes into tonight's game having barely given up any home runs. Top 5 in baseball, .33 home runs per 9, and Gerardo Parra just answered the Dodgers. Off the bat, Jenny, I did not think this was going.
Clearly, I did not either.
On the Supermo, Gerardo did. High finish, hitting fourth, hitting cleanup. Bud is mentioned. Gerardo's at-bats lately have been fantastic.
Oppo pop for Parra. And this road trip, he's now had a hit in 5 of the 6 games that he started on the road. You mentioned the bat heating up, a product of trying to win a starting job. We've seen these veterans in Parra and Cargo spend some time on the bench. It's not a fun place to be. Your bat can do a lot of talking. Things all evened up at Dodger Stadium. New ball game with Trevor Story.
76 career home runs for Gerardo Parra. Only 12 have gone to left field or to left center. That is a rare feat. The hair dye gave him some extra pop.
I saw him get a fresh cut in San Francisco before they left. Sometimes the barber has the magic. Two to Trevor Story.
That was just a great at bat from Gerardo. 2 strikes, put the ball in play. Let Walker Buehler support the power. Let him be the guy with the fastball to drive it out of the ball field. Be short, put the barrel on the ball.
Trevor, comebacker. Buehler's going to be able to work it off his body and pick it up, but it looks like he is hurt. He's down on the field. Nope.
No, he's hurt.
We got to get the exit velocity on that one because it came off Trevor's bat hard.
Well, he's hurt.
I don't know if the wind was knocked out of him or if he's
very easily. I mean,
physically feeling some pain somewhere.
97 mile an hour 2-seam fastball. We'll wait for the StatCast numbers, but it was 108 miles an hour. I mean, very easily you could break a rib, you could knock the wind out of him. Still don't think Walker's caught his breath yet.
Yeah, hard to react there. He got his arm, it looked like, right in front of the ball.
I can't tell if it hit his arm or if it hit his side. Still hard to tell.
He's going to take a couple warm-up pitches. It did look like it hit his arm, whether it bounced off his body and hit his arm or hit direct contact with his arm.
Well, so far, if I'm the trainer, I'm not liking the first two pitches I just saw Walker throw. I'm still not liking it. He's not putting the same amount of effort. There'll be a discussion.
He just mouthed to Dave Roberts, "I'm all right."
The trainer did not like how he threw.
They're going to leave him in.
And people say baseball is a contact sport. That's
Especially
scary.
with that skinny frame of his. He's no Bartolo Colon taking 108 miles an hour off his stomach there.
Needs more Dodger dogs.
So Ian Desmond, the batter, he's going to swing at the first pitch. Diving is Taylor. Desmond's out, running hard up the line again. Second time we've seen Desi with a close call on a ground ball.
He got robbed by Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor, versatility, he plays the outfield. I mean, that is an incredible play on the Subaru Supermo. Getting to your feet. Max Muncy with the nice backhanded pick. What a play.
Tony Walters gets a ball to start his at bat. Just 4 for his last 35. Bound to break out of a slump sooner than later.
I think for Tony, it just comes down to trusting your approach. I mean, he's not a guy that's going to rip the cover off a baseball.
Swings through that, 1 and 2.
Tony's defensive value and how well he receives the baseball behind the plate is where it justifies seeing the type of numbers he puts up offensively, but you'd like to see him feel good.
Tony tried to find a gap in the outfield, and that's going to go down as out number 3. Kemp handles the baseball. Rockies get on the board in this one, though, thanks to the unlikely power from Parra. A solo shot to lead off the inning in a 1-1 game.
Number 27, Trevor Story.
By Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. All evened up back in Los Angeles. Corrado Parra with a home run. And in the 4th inning, Max Muncy with the home run. Matt Kemp will lead things off in the bottom of the 5th.
Now be careful with Matt Kemp. He's in a great place offensively. We've seen him. This is a guy very underappreciated with how much pop he has. Look at the last couple of years. This is still a very viable bat. And for him, just getting back to getting in shape. He was in bad shape last year. I mean, physically, probably about 20 to 30 pounds heavier than where he is now.
Marcus gets him looking. Good strikeout for Herman. Good way to start off the inning. Just the 2nd strikeout.
Number 3, Chris Taylor.
First 15,000 fans through the gates for the Rockies-Dodgers game on June 2nd will receive a 25th anniversary season beach towel, courtesy of King Supers. Super.
Chris Taylor robbed Ian Desmond of a hit.
Oh.
And he just got hit right in the head.
At least it is an off-speed pitch, not that it justifies it. It looks like he was looking to start him off with the curveball. Just got on the side of it.
I misread that.
Supermo, yep.
He got hit in the shoulder. That ball was coming down. It looked like it hit his ear flat, but right on the edge of the shoulder. You mentioned an off-speed pitch. Probably not too sore.
No, that's a good spot to get nicked up. Definitely scary anytime you see a baseball traveling towards your head. Chris Taylor doesn't wear any of those extra little visor protectors that we're seeing a lot more major leaguers hit.
Yeah, Chase Utley doesn't have any protection either.
Chase Utley does not mind to be hit by pitches. Heard him talking the other day. I believe he has over 150 hit by pitches in his career, and him and Jimmy Rollins were talking about it. Jimmy Rollins maybe was hit 2 times in a season, so 6 for his career, something like that.
Jimmy Rollins played a few more years than that.
The point was, Jimmy's asking Chase, like, why are you willing to get hit by pitches? Just jump out of the way. Chase said, I'd rather be on first base for you to get on base. 200 hit by pitches in his career.
That's crazy.
8th all time.
Rockies have the shift on, and that ball's going to get away. So Chase Utley is going to end up at 2nd, Taylor at 3rd.
Well, because of the shift, Trevor Story has to range really far to his right. Valleca a little late getting there, but only because of the shift. So Trevor hoping that he's there. He had more time to set his feet, or at least allowed Valleca to get to second base. And it was almost automatic. He turned around and just assumed that he'd be there, and it wasn't.
Number 21.
Looks like he kind of realized it as the ball was coming out of his hand. Too little too late, and Walker Buehler coming up. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. That's going to go down as a fielder's choice and an error on Trevor.
It's Trevor's 5th error on the season. Look out.
I don't think Chris Iannetta moved. That's a catcher for you, right?
Must not have seen it then.
Loses that pitch, 1-1. In there for a strike, 1-2. So 1 out for the Rocks, runners on second and third for the Dodgers. Buehler's going to strike out looking. He did not like that call and threw his hand up. That's not really a good rookie move.
No, he was frozen by a curveball. The 1-1 curveball froze him, and then he threw it again based on the reaction. I think Walker's more upset with him not being able to put a ball in play than the call by a home plate umpire. But you're right, Jenny. You can't be demonstrative to a home plate umpire if you're a rookie.
That's why I'm just minding my P's and Q's in here with you, my friend. 2 outs for the Rocks. Jock Peterson, the batter, popped up into foul territory in his first 2 at-bats. A .346 hitter this year with runners in scoring position. Out to Parra, tracking it, and out number 3, the Rockies are going to leave 2 stranded. And a sigh of relief for German Marquez as we move on to the 6th. Low fares, no hidden fees, that's transparency. We're back in LA, all tied up at 1. A home run for each team, and the Rockies in the 6th inning will start with Pat Valleca.
It's time for a rally sandwich.
You mean a hot dog?
Mm-hmm. Dodger dog time.
It's going to be a broken bat for Pat Valleca, and ball's going to land in the glove of Chase Utley.
Jenny, we've come to Dodger Stadium for the last, I don't know, however many years. Do you ever get starstruck when you come here?
I saw Jason Bateman one time, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
What about Arsenio Hall?
Ooh, 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 ooh. That's awesome. Mary Hart's usually here. She's a staple figure. I mean, when you see, oh, there she is. There's my girl. She owns probably an entire wardrobe of just Dodger blue clothes to rotate through their 81 home games and postseason games as well. Marcus is going to hit one back up the middle, but it's going to be cut off by Taylor. No, overthrown, and guess who's on the base?
Well, Herman's going to have a hit.
Center fielder, Charlie Blackman.
This ball had eyes going right back up the middle. You got to give Chris Taylor some credit. He is showing some good footwork at shortstop, ranging well behind the bag. You can tell that he wasn't able to get a solid grip of the baseball in the Subaru Supermo.
So the 5th hit on the season for Marcus, and guess what? Just the 2nd hit of the game for the Rockies. Charlie Blackman coming up. Charlie, 12 home runs on the season, 11 of those coming out on the road. Grounded out and struck out so far this game.
I think I shared this story before. The on-deck circle at Dodger Stadium is fantastic. Fans have a real close interaction between the players, and if the fans are nice and vocal, you can have a player actually respond to you and say hello. I had one fan tell me, "Spielberg's Star Wars movies stink."
Ball barely getting out, and catcher's going to make an out at first, moving Marcus up to second.
So after that fan yelled, "Star Wars movies stink, Jenny," I turned and I looked at him and was like, "That's George Lucas, you bonehead." The entire front row of all the people sitting there, they loved it. I mean, like, that's the interaction. And that person that I was calling a bonehead was George Lucas himself.
I can't believe it. Are you serious?
No, but it's fun to pretend.
Nice story. This sounds like an LA tale to me.
Well, it was true. There was a fan that really thought Spielberg's was the guy that did Star Wars. It's George Lucas.
This is a great story.
Steven Spielberg did like Close Encounters.
Yeah, Spielberg, not Spielberg's.
I know, but they were making fun of my last name.
That happens at a lot of ballparks. Spilligus. Sound familiar? David Dahl with the runner in scoring position. 1-1.
So before games, coaches will have a pick to click. You always hear of a pick to click. This is the guy. Well, David Dahl was my pick to click tonight because I felt, especially with Walker Buehler's fastball, that this was a great matchup for David Dahl. I'm still sticking with my guns.
Fan asking on Toyota Talk if you had your rally boots on.
Not till August. Two strikes. David Dahl in the season, 3 for 5 with 2 outs, runners in scoring position.
One too high. Got him on strikes. David Dahl goes down swinging. The Rockies strand a runner at second.
our Coors Timeless Moments with Nolan Arenado circa 2008 when El Toro beat Redlands East Valley 7-0 in the CIF Southern Section Championship. We talked to Nolan today about what he remembers from that day.
Well, I remember beating my boy Chatty. That's the best part about it. But no, just being here at Dodger Stadium, playing in a big league stadium, being the underdog, and winning the way we did was amazing with the group of players that we won it with. Some of my best friends and some of the people I've went from Little League all the way to high school with. It's pretty cool.
And speaking of state championship games, those are going on right now in Colorado. And how about Arapahoe High School? They won their first 2 games of the 5A state championship. Zach Goodman on that team. Drew Goodman helped coaching them, so I'm sure they're smiling after today's wins, Jenny.
Yeah, they are. They beat Mountain Vista, who is the #1 overall seed, and then Cherokee Trail this afternoon. So congratulations to Coach Goodman and the Warriors, and that's why you're hearing my voice tonight with Ryan Spilborgs, but you might not hear him talk for a while because a Dodger dog has just entered the booth.
They're pretty salty.
You shouldn't speak with your mouth full. Max Muncy, the hitter
for
the Dodgers.
I get it. I love this, making a joke about calling this thing a sandwich. Meat between a bun, I get it. It's funny to me to kind of rile up the crowd. But since I don't call it a sandwich right now, you are not allowed to put ketchup on a hot dog.
No.
So
that is the golden rule. Mustard only, relish is okay. Dougie's going mustard only, which I appreciate.
You can tell a person that eats a lot of Dodger dogs because here in California, they're very tan. I feel like it's a flamingo eating shrimp. Like, people turn orange from eating Dodger dogs.
Wow. Is that why you're eating that? Blend in with the crowd. Full count to Muncy. Home run in the 4th inning for him. Five home runs in just 71 at-bats so far this season. And he's going to work a walk. Traffic for the 2nd straight inning. Come on, Marcus. Justin Turner coming up to bat.
Now you're getting into situations late in the game where 1-1, leadoff walk. Justin Turner, who likes to hit the ball opposite field. He's also seen Herman, just making it his 3rd at-bat. These are the at-bats where Justin Turner excels.
Two groundouts to start the day for Turner. He's going to swing at the first pitch. Shallow to left field, and Parra makes the grab.
Catcher, Yasmani Grandal.
Grandal, the hitter, with 1 out and 1 on for the Dodgers.
Of last year, Yasmani Grandal was in this horrific slump. And going back to when the Rockies ended up sweeping the Dodgers here at Dodger Stadium, you could have told Yasmani Grandal what's coming, and he would have swung straight through it. This year, looking at his ranks amongst combined stats versus all catchers, he is fantastic. Batting average, 3rd, OPS, 4th, extra base hits, 20, 3rd. I mean, these numbers for Yasmani Grandal, especially given the fact that people were talking, hey, Austin Barnes might be the guy that's going to get the opportunity to start over Yasmani Grandal.
Yeah, Barnes and Grandal have made quite a tandem when it comes to their offensive ranks in Major League Baseball this season. Grandal is going to go down swinging. Marcus with his 4th strikeout of the game.
Center fielder, Cody Bellinger.
The batter, he had a ground ball to Marcus and then ground ball to Valeka. Keep the ball on the ground and get out of this for Herman.
Got to be careful not to allow a pitch to be down and in to Bellinger where he can really handle.
Rocky shifting to cover the right side of the field against Bellinger. One and Cody swings through it. 1-2. Hit a tough road trip. Just 3 hits on their East Coast swing. Coming in 0 for 2 today.
Well, 2 of those hits were homers.
Pitch inside. Swing on the 2-2, and
4 outs.
Walters is going to throw down for out number 4.
We got 4 outs this inning.
Does that carry over?
It does.
To the 7th?
Yep. Dodgers will be down and out in the 7th inning.
5 strikeouts for German Marquez. Rockies offense coming up in the 7th.
Through the gates for the Rockies-Giants game on Memorial Day. Next Monday, May 28th, will receive a 2018 Colorado Rockies team poster. It's actually a stretch time for me. That Dodger dog was a poor decision.
I was wondering where you went with that. I did not hear "take me out to the ball game."
Stretch time for the Rockies bats.
Nolan Arenado will lead things off in the 7th. Ground out and a strikeout. Nolan career at Dodger Stadium, a .263 hitter. He has 9 homers here, 20 RBI, but Nolan's numbers looked real good in 9 games last year. Over 400 is what he hit. Rockies looked real good at Dodger Stadium last year. They brought in a 4-game win streak from that sweep in September. Arguably one of the best series we saw the Rockies have on their way to making the playoffs as a wild card team.
Well, that's when everything changed for the Rockies in 2017. That series really started propelling them to believing that they were a playoff caliber team. And it's the same way I kind of look at this series. We have a Dodgers team that's won 5 straight divisions. 6 games under 500. The Rockies have a chance to be in first place at the end of tonight if they beat them. Third time through the lineup, Walker Buehler. Hitters are hitting .429 off him. He's also getting close to that number where the Dodgers are most likely going to go to the bullpen.
Nolan fouls that off, 2-2.
I'll put sauerkraut on a hot dog.
Only abroad.
My wife texts me, we're watching the game. There's cholesterol in hot dogs. Your body's a temple.
Apparently not on the road. And Nolan goes down swinging, his second strikeout of the night. Enter the power. Gerardo Parra trying to start something. Did that in the 5th, getting the Rockies on the board with a home run.
It's the only blemish on Walker Buehler tonight. 2 hits, 1 to a pitcher, and this one to Gerardo Parra. With 2 strikes, took a fastball and shot it opposite field.
Grandal did not catch the ball, and it was a strike.
That's what Gerardo's asking. Hey,
Parra, that's the look of, I'm not sure. I'm not sure you got that.
yeah, you can't reward a catcher a strike when he doesn't catch it.
Parra swinging on the 0-1. Right to Muncy. The Rockies have 2 quick outs. It's time now for AT&T Achieving More as Trevor Story comes to the plate. Trevor, lots of RBIs on the season. In fact, 35 is tied for 2nd in the National League, but it's his 26th RBI since April 21st that has him leading the pack in the National League. And we started to notice that trend. Strikeouts going down, Trevor being more patient, connecting with the ball, and of course, getting runners on before him has helped him out a bunch.
Just a quieter approach. He's not over swinging. And even Trevor. The Dodgers have been shifting pretty hard on the Rockies tonight, which is surprising given the fact that Walker Buehler has some of the highest velocity with fastball. He's back to the point that I mentioned to you, Jenny, if you want a hit at the big league level, given with how much teams are shifting, you have to be willing to hit the ball opposite field. There are hits available.
It's a game of adjustments. Going to change your approach. 2-0, and Trevor's swinging bunt. It's going to stay fair and be the final out for the Rocks in the 7th. Hey, Spilly, guess what time it is?
Stretch time.
Stretch time at Dodger Stadium. score in this game. It started with Max Muncy in the 4th inning. A solo shot put the Dodgers on the board, and Parra answers with that Oppo field power in the 5th for his 3rd home run of the season and a 1-1 score here at Dodger Stadium. Marquez's first time pitching into the 7th this season. He'll be facing Matt Kemp.
Have to be careful with Matt Kemp. This is the one Dodger right now in this part of the lineup that can really do significant damage. Obviously, Chris Taylor hitting behind him, who hit over 20 home runs last year, but this is the guy. Mon's done a great job tonight of mixing in his off-speed pitches. Him and Tony Walters have been on the same page. Curveball's been very effective. He's thrown in the changeup, which I think opens up his pitch repertoire against the Dodgers.
Mon getting ahead early 0-2, and Kemp swinging out to center field, and Charlie makes out number 1.
And Kemp just missed the changeup.
Shortstop, number 3.
All right, Spilly's been crushing Dodger dogs, so our friend JJ sent this in. Cholesterol isn't that bad, is it? Spilly, 45 milligrams of cholesterol, so that's not even the worst thing on here. Sodium, 860.
860. Well, what about the saturated fat?
Just 8 grams of saturated fat.
I saw a guy downstairs put away 4 Dodger dogs.
Well, he can't eat for 4 days. That's what that says to me.
Imagine 88 is sitting down and having 88 grams of fat for dinner.
You basically did.
I had 1.
This whole road trip, though, if you start adding up what you've been getting into, road food, if you will.
I've been
press
good.
box
No,
food.
I've been doing
you
really
actually
well.
do make a salad. I'm very proud of you.
Every day I eat a salad.
You got the
But
Dodger
I put
dog.
a Dodger dog on
High
top
reward.
of the salad.
I won't even mention the adult beverages.
Excellent.
I'm sorry, buddy. And really thanks, JJ, for pointing out that Spilly needs to go to the doctor after this. 2-1 to Chris Taylor. He's going to check, and that's going to be a swing.
He's not going to like that.
Says
Chris
Alfonso
Taylor's still
Marquez.
looking down at Alfonso. Going back to the game in San Francisco, think about what would have switched had Gorkys Hernandez had a check swing go against him. It would have been the 3rd strike, and the next pitch ended up being a home run to dead center. Huge momentum shift.
That one in the Rockies' favor, and a full count now for Herman to Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor's going to watch it for ball 4. Second walk for Herman.
Second baseman, number 26, Chase Utley.
Rocky dogs are better. Do you crush those at Coors Field?
Better for you, or just better in general?
Better tasting. Come on, they're Rocky dogs.
I agree. I mean, they're great, but when in Rome.
The conference on the mound for Tony Walters. Getting on the same page with Chase Utley coming up, and Chris Taylor on base.
My wife literally just texted me, you better not have eaten a Dodger dog.
Oh, I have video proof, Stacy. Just hit the rewind button. AT&T Sportsnet has you covered. Truth tellers over here. Come on, checks the runner. 0-1, and Utley swings. That ball is going to come down in shallow left field. Parra's right under it. Second out of the inning.
That's going to be the end of Walker Buehler's night. You can see why the Dodgers are so high on his talent. 7 innings pitched. The one blemish, a home run to Gerardo. He was fantastic, efficient, and showed something to his teammates standing in after taking a 108-mile-an-hour line drive off his side.
So Austin Barnes will be the pinch hitter. Pedro Baez warming up in the bullpen. Hard grounder to second, and Valleca making the out. So the Dodgers will strand a runner on first and Chris Taylor. And it's time for the Rockies to get into the Dodgers bullpen next.
To do some damage against Pedro Baez, who's coming into the game. The Warning Track Party Room offers a field-level view of the game. Prices start at $100 per person and includes a food and beverage package. Call 303-ROCKIES for more information. As Pedro Baez entered the game after seeing the great start from Walker Buehler, Pedro has had an up-and-down season, for the Dodgers the last couple years. Still high strikeouts, 28 strikeouts to 21 innings pitched, but hitters are hitting .276. It's not often you hear the Dodgers boo, but when Pedro came into tonight's game, they weren't happy about it.
Well, Buehler, a great outing, as Billy mentioned. 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts for the 23-year-old. He's been advertised as a guy with high upside, ace-like stuff, and I think we saw some of those reasons why tonight. Real confident, too, and he did have that comebacker stuck in the game and stayed through it.
Very impressive. He's gotten better since we saw him last year.
Ian Desmond will be the first to see Baez. First pitch in for a strike. Ian's had 2 groundouts tonight. Watches the ball go by, 2-1.
This has been one of the issues for the Dodgers, has been finding guys to get the ball to the bullpen in Kenley Jansen. Rockies have to take advantage of the opportunity. Pedro Baez is a great opportunity if you're a Rockies fan, if you're a Rockies hitter. You've seen him plenty of times.
Adam Ottavino's warming up for the Rockies. Again, if Herman's night is done, 7 innings for him. That's the first time this season we've seen him in the 7th inning, nevertheless get through it. High pop-up for Ian Desmond. Tracking it back will be Muncy, the first baseman.
Catcher number 14, Tony Walters.
Tony Walters, the batter, the bottom of the order tonight. Struggling to get things going. Offense in general, just 2 hits, one of them belonging to German Marquez.
It's a chance to get a foul ball in a baseball game, Jenny.
I know.
It's close.
Did come close. Walters with 2 line drive outs this game. Two and 1 to Tony. Hit well against the Dodgers in 2017, a .462 clip.
Pretty simple pitch repertoire for Pedro Baez. It's fastball, the hardest thrower out of the Dodgers bullpen. Change up, which he hasn't been able to locate so far tonight, in a slider.
The 2-2's high, so full count for Tony.
Baez very deliberate in between pitches. It takes about 25 seconds, and this is him sped up. 2 years ago, it was over 30 seconds. And the reason why, there was a period of time in Pedro Baez's career where he was much faster, and he was told by a pitching coach to slow it down. Took it to heart.
He took it to heart. Just no, slow down your heartbeat and your breathing. Didn't say anything about the time, sir. Miscommunication there. Full count intact, and Tony's gonna watch that by, so Rockies have a base runner in the 8th. First walk of the game for the Rocks.
Second baseman, Pat Paleka.
Well, don't forget, all season, AT&T Sportsnet will be celebrating the Rockies' 25th anniversary by counting down the all-time top 25 players. You can tune in tomorrow as we'll celebrate number 19 on our list. It is not Brian Spielborgs, who wore number 19, but it's Aaron Cook. You can join the conversation by sending your favorite memories and photos of Cookie using the hashtag ToyotaTalk25. He's going to join us, too, and in that conversation, so look forward to talking with Aaron tomorrow. Cargos stepping out on deck. Looks like he could be the pinch hitter. And going is Tony. He's going to make it overthrown, and he's going to make it to third. Rockies with some traction in the 8th now.
Well, it's a hit and run Pat Valleca swings through it, and right now Yasmani Grandal is having a conversation arguing that there was interference. Home plate umpire said no.
Dave Roberts is going to come out and argue this.
Pay attention to the contact.
Valleca left his bat behind on the follow through, and you can see it kind of runs across the chest protector.
Well, Subaru Super Mode. Paul just got to wait. There's no contact with the bat until after the ball has been thrown, after he throws the ball towards second base. That did not change anything with the trajectory of that baseball.
Stolen base number 14 for the Rockies, by the way. The month of May, they're 14 for 14 stolen bases.
Well, you got to love the aggression, Jenny. 32 stolen bases, as you mentioned. They've been caught 7 times, and that just forced the issue. And the fact that Tony Walters, as soon as the ball went into the outfield, never took a second to look, just went. He pushed on the Dodgers. Now you have a great opportunity to score.
Valleca watched that pitch go by. So the most consecutive stolen bases without being caught in team history is 17. I mentioned the current streak of 14. The last time the Rockies had a runner caught stealing, Ian Desmond, caught in Miami on April 29th. They talked at spring training that aggression was going to be part of their motto this year on the base path, and we've really started to see that come alive in May and translate into some wins as well.
Well, most importantly, Jenny, anytime you're stealing bases, is you have to have a percentage that warrants stealing the base. Otherwise, it's not worth it. It's not worth running into outs. The Rockies, 82%. That leads the National League.
Dodgers have the infield in. Valleca trying to get this runner home.
Yeah, you cannot afford a strikeout. You have to put the ball in play.
The 1-2 makes contact, fouls it off. Stu's giving the sign, but the only sign you need is put the ball in play.
Yeah. Get an RBI.
Not too many chances for Valleca to have those. Just one ribby this year. Watch that ball go by. 2-2.
Cargo is on deck, but most likely he will face Alexander, the lefty warming up in the Dodgers bullpen.
They're going to check the runner, and Tony gets back in time. Tony had been taking a...
Well, there's some gamesmanship between Justin Turner and Tony Walters. Justin Turner did a deke earlier in the at-bat, and then Tony trying to sneak off. There's no reason for him to be doing that. Looks like he just made it in on time. He's lucky.
Swim dive back for Walters.
And that was all Justin Turner at third base asking for that. The Rockies dodged one right there, Jenny.
Yeah, important runner at third for the Rocks with one out here in the 8th. The 2-2 to Valleca. He's going to swing and miss for strike 3. Rockies are going to have to go to their bench here. And it looks like Carlos Gonzalez will be the hitter.
Well announced Cargo. And here comes Dave Roberts.
Carlos Gonzalez.
Going to his bullpen. Asking Scott Alexander to face Carlos Gonzalez. We'll see if Buddy counters.
The 8th inning just got real interesting. Rockies have a runner on third and 2 outs with a pinch hitter coming up. Outs. Tony Walters on third base after walking. He stole second with an error on the catcher. That's how he moved up to third. So the Dodgers, they're going to counter with the left-handed pitcher in Scott Alexander.
Scott Alexander's been known throughout baseball as being a very one-sided pitcher, very good sinker. A lot of people have compared him to a version of Zach Britton. But with that heavy sinker comes quite a few walks, 11 walks in 16 innings pitched. The numbers against lefties, 167 batting average. You'd love to see a quality at bat from Cargo right here.
Cargo had a hit in his last game. In fact, the 2-game hit streak going. And just 189 against left-handers.
87% of the time versus lefties, Alexander will use his fastball.
Cargo's going to watch the first pitch for a ball. Cargo looking for the hole, but that's, yes, Cargo's safe. He's going to keep going. The run scores. You put the ball in play, you put pressure on the defense, and look what happens.
Fantastic for Cargo. The result isn't a home run. It isn't a ball driven in the gap. It's a ball in between the shift. It's going to go down as a single E4. Cargo busting his tail to try to get that infield single. It all started with a walk to Tony Walters.
Cargo getting the RBI on his hustle up the line, and the Rockies take a 2-1 lead. All started with a walk from Tony Walters and being aggressive on the base path.
Well, with that error, Cargo able to advance an extra base. Let's see if Charlie can hit a ball opposite field.
Charlie swings at the 1-0. That goes foul.
And that's the right approach. If you try to pull Scott Alexander's fastball, it's a ground out, unless you hit it in between the shift. Stay big part of the field, but to drive the ball hard up the middle.
Two and one.
Alexander, another California product from Santa Rosa, California, went to school at Pepperdine University.
That ball's going to stay foul, and Turner catches it for the final out. Cargo's going to be stranded on second, but not before he could work a run for the Rocks. They take a 2-1 lead. Pitching performance, and boy, did we get a good pitcher's duel here at Dodger Stadium. Walker Buehler, the rookie, 23 years old, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run with a home run to Gerardo Parra. Matching on the other side, Germán Marquez, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, also a home run, and 5 strikeouts for Germán on the day. First time pitching through 7 innings this season, just took 94 pitches to do it. That means Adam Ottavino is in, and the Rockies are now in their bullpen.
We know how good the year's been for Ottavino. The strikeouts are ridiculous in 25 innings pitched, 44. Now there's times where some pitchers come here to Dodger Stadium and it takes them, especially with the movement that Ottavino gets with his slider and with his fastball, a lot more marine layer here. Some pitchers see more movement with their pitches.
Ball's in there for a strike, 1-1 to Jock Peterson. Otto's last outing, he went 2 innings in San Francisco on Saturday. Correction, Friday. Otto gets Peterson going down.
Rockies baseball is always live at the MLB at Bat mobile app. Stay connected all season with video highlights, stats, news, and more.
I really appreciated your chuckle, by the way, on the strikeout.
It's just, you're witnessing something right now, Jenny, and for the fans at home, you just don't see hitters look like this at the plate in a consistent basis. There's no true approach, because if you're trying to sit on slider, he's throwing fastballs for strikes. If you're sitting fastball, the slider, you have no shot. Hitters are what we call in the in-between.
First pitch strike to Muncy. One and one.
The in-between is like the upside down in Stranger Things. If there aren't any Stranger Things fans out there, that is exactly what the in-between is.
Right inside, Adam gets behind 3-1.
Well, Muncy's taking some quality bats for the Dodgers. We highlighted him earlier, just looking at the RBIs he's had in the last couple of games, that Dave Roberts has put him into a spot where he can have steady at bats.
He's gonna lose him. Walks him there. Take a look at this last pitch, Billy.
Well, Max Muncy now has 2 walks and a home run on the day. The Subaru Supermo got a bit of a flinch from home plate umpire.
Ottavino a strikeout and just walked Muncy. Now he faces Justin Turner. Ground ball, could be double play. Story to Valleca, on to Desmond, and they got it. Rockies get out of it after a walk, but not before Adam Ottavino can record strikeout number 45. So much, yes, Marquez with a great start. 7 innings for him, and now the Rockies and Bud Black are going to go to their bench with Noel Cuevas coming to bat to lead things off in the 9th with the left-handed pitcher Scott Alexander still in the game.
It's insurance time, and for Cuevas, he's done very well in these pinch hit situations. 3 for 10. Yasmani Grandal going out to talk to Alexander, just buying time. Trying to get the right-hander loose in the Dodgers bullpen.
Umpire's going to walk out to break it up. Daniel Hudson's warming for the Dodgers.
And here comes Dave Roberts.
It's a chess match.
Except usually don't they do speed chess? Like this could have been a little bit quicker.
So before the 9th can begin, we will pause and return with Noah Cuevas up to bat. Colorado Rockies baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees, that's transparency. And by Birch Prospects, your college athletic recruiting service on a national scale. Back in Los Angeles, a close one. The Rockies holding a 2-1 lead over the Dodgers. We go to the top of the 9th. Pitching change for the Dodgers. They're going to counter with Noah Cuevas, the pinch hitter. They go to Daniel Hudson.
Well, Daniel Hudson struggling with command in the amount of innings that he's pitched. The much unsightly ERAs come against lefties. We were talking about Tommy Johns earlier. Daniel Hudson went through a period of back-to-back years having to undergo the knife for Tommy John.
So Noah Cuevas, the pinch hitter for the Rocks in the 9th. 13 hits in his last 35 at-bats. That one up the middle, and it's going to be cut off by Chase Utley for the first out.
Never fault a pinch hitter for walking up to the plate and swinging first pitch.
Third baseman number 28, Nolan Arenado.
Nolan Arenado 0 for 3 on the night, 2 strikeouts for him. Mentioned Nolan's been hitting a lot of soft singles lately, not getting a lot of pitches to hit. But also still finding a way to reach base. He's done that in 28 of his last 29 games. Dodgers are going to shift on Nolan to the left side. I can't remember too many shifts on Nolan.
The Giants were using a shift, but it was more up the middle. The second baseman was closer to the bag than where the Dodgers have it. It's much more of an overshift. That's what we talk about. Yeah, there's a lot of space on the right side of the field for a hit.
Nolan's going to watch 3 balls go by for a 3-0 count.
Going back to Daniel Hudson, back in 2011, 16-12 as a starter, 3.5 ERA. With 9 starts in 2012, then the back-to-back Tommy Johns. In 220 games since, he's only had 1 start.
And Nolan's going to walk on 4 pitches.
It was the walk that came around to bite the Dodgers in the 8th inning when Pedro Baez walked Tony Wolters. Let's see if the home run hitter Gerardo Parra can make it hurt again.
Same scenario too, 1 out. We have seen Nolan steal a base recently. Tongue in cheek, but he has recently.
Yeah, he has.
Parra with the home run in the 5th. Gets a ball to start his at bat against Hudson. Spilling mentioned command issues. We've seen a lot of pitches out of the zone. Parra's on a good run in the month of May. 20 hits in his last 54 at-bats. Swing at that. 1-1. Parra swings at that, 1-2.
That swing, even though Parra was late, it had intent. The intent was to hit it against the shift.
Parra fouls this off.
Pretty slow to the plate for Daniel Hudson. High leg kick, even though they picked off to first. Slow enough that if Nolan did want to take a chance, Jenny. Slow enough to the plate that he might have a chance to actually steal it.
Grounder to second. Dodgers are gonna go first. And Parra is safe. A lot of misplayed baseballs in the field today. That one bobbled and Parra getting up the line fast.
It's gonna go down as an error on Chase Utley. Pay attention to Nolan Arenado. Chase is thinking about potentially tagging him. And as he's thinking about the tag, he loses the grip in his glove. He can't regain it. On the Subaru Supermo, Gerardo beats it out. A lot of mistakes by the Dodgers tonight. And even though it's a 2-1 lead for the Rockies, there hasn't been many opportunities, and the Dodgers have given the Rockies many opportunities.
3 total errors on the night for the Dodgers. Now Trevor Story with runner in scoring position, 2 on for the Rocks. Look to make something happen.
An insurance run would be huge.
Watches that for a strike, 1-1. Trevor coming in tied for second in the National League with 35 RBI on the season. 0 for 3 tonight. Looking for a big hit and a big RBI.
For Chase Utley, 2 errors on the evening. He had 1 error all of last year. Utley had 1 error this season, not all of last year, this year. Now he has 3 with 2 tonight. The last 2 error game that Utley's had dates back to July of 2013.
Crowd getting louder. Trevor swings at that one, and Dodgers are gonna get a double play to get out of it. Rockies strand a runner. Time to go to the 9th. Wade Davis time. They're gonna try to hold on and win one at Dodger Stadium. Fans who wants tacos, follow us at AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Tacos Special. It happens when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. For now, it's time for Wade Davis to do Wade Davis-like things. 16 saves on the season. This will be his 19th opportunity.
Yeah, it leads Major League Baseball. And when you look at the numbers, 19 innings pitched, the 22 strikeouts, 9 walks. However, of late, command has been a bit of an issue. In San Francisco, he walked 2 batters while getting the save. And if you're looking at some of those command numbers, Jenny, 52% first pitch strikes. That's the worst on the team. The strike percentage is also 57% worse on the team. He gets away with it because he has great secondary command and grinds through it. But you'd like to see him be a little bit more efficient with his pitches.
Noel Cuevas will stay in the game in right field. Came in as the pinch hitter, top of the 9th. So it's the heart of the order for Wade Davis. He has Monty Grandal leading things off. 0 for 3 on the night with a strikeout in his last at bat.
Well, it's a little bit of a rub too when you're thinking about first pitch strikes. This Dodger team loves to swing early in the count. You just don't want to lay a cookie in there, and Wade Davis first pitch curveball.
Grandal thought that hit his foot. Dodgers are calling in to check.
Bob Guerin calling in. Hard to tell from that angle on the Subaru Supermo. No, it did not hit him.
They want to check it. It's the 9th inning.
All on the field is under review.
So under review, whether White Davis
I don't think so,
hit
Jenny.
Yasmani
I mean,
Grandal.
maybe, but looking at those first 2 views, it's really hard to tell.
Well, if that's the video they had back in New York, I don't see the conclusive evidence to change the call on the field.
It has to be it's either the front foot to get him in the front foot, but he points to his back left knee. So where to get him? Okay, maybe the front foot.
Yeah, I think if anything, he's pointing to that knee. And
Well, I think if it hits anything, it's a front foot. Nope, nope.
I think if it hit his front foot, he would have at least lifted his front foot in a little bit of pain.
Yeah, I'm not sure which foot he thinks it hit him, because it didn't hit him.
I think his acting classes in Los Angeles, he's trying to make sure he's getting his money's worth
Hey,
right now.
it's gamesmanship. It's worth it. If he can get to first base, yeah, 2-1 game.
Call stands.
So the call stands, and we will continue on with Grandal's at bat. Goes down as a ball, 1-1 count.
Would have been better if he flopped.
Straight basketball.
Soccer.
It's in their first strike. Davis gets ahead 1-2. Calls that off. Davis hasn't pitched since the opening game in San Francisco. The 17th. Recorded the save in that game. Looking to do the same thing tonight in the opening series in Los Angeles. I think it's Grandal looking.
He's going to get run out.
Center fielder number 35, Cody Bellinger.
Grandal still barking.
He's trying to get tossed out. Good job by home plate umpire to allow him to just have the conversation. Subaru Supermo, that's a strike right at the bottom of the zone. Knee high is where it crosses. Tony Walters receives it well.
And the Rockies have 1 out in the 9th. Davis will attack Bellinger and does so with the first pitch strike. The 1-1 to Bellinger. He swings, and that ball's sent out to center field. Charlie right underneath it. Rockies have 2 outs in the 9th.
Right fielder, number 27, Matt Kemp.
Dugout can let out a collective exhale after that ball off the bat. Originally, just with the sound, the way the Dodger fans reacted. Pick off the bat. But the result might have been a tie ball game. Looks like Cody Bellinger caught it just off the end of the bat.
First pitch, a ball to Kemp.
Notorious Rockies killer.
Gets Kemp swinging 1-1.
Kemp leads all active players in home runs and RBIs against the Rockies.
Rockies need one more out to shake hands here at Dodger Stadium. Wade Davis falls behind 3-1 to Kemp. Grounder to shortstop, and Trevor Story throwing across. Ian Desmond can't make the play.
Oh, he got him!
And Tony Walters with the follow-through on the backup. Gets Matt Kemp for the final out of the game.
If Matt Kemp took one step towards second base with intent, then he's going to be out at first. What a play by Tony Walters. There's always a place to be on the field.
Rocky's already shaking hands, and Dave Roberts isn't done with the umpires yet.
Alfonso Marquez saying, I'm positive he made a step towards second base. If he did, he's out. Does the throw beat Matt Kemp to first? The tag was on him. The game's over.
The game is over, and the Rockies are winners at Dodger Stadium. A 5-game win streak here at Chavez Ravine dating back to last year. How about that? What a way to end a ball game. Heads-up play by Tony Walters to get that final out.
I've never seen a game end like this, ever. A single incredible effort by Trevor. The short hop gets past him, and watch, he takes one motion towards second base. Tony got him. I mean, that's fantastic. What a way to end this ball game. Alfonso is looking right at Matt Kemp.
Even more special is the Colorado Rockies are the first place team in the National League West standings with their win over the Dodgers today. Just the 11th time the Rockies have won a game with just 3 hits. They do it tonight thanks to a